Why is relapse in substance abuse disorder so common? I don't know. Do you? Hi, I'm James. I'm a grateful recovering substance abuse disorder addict and alcoholic. I post my live streams here at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night, so feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's talk about mental health awareness. Let's talk about what leads us down that dark path to relapse. Is substance abuse disorder a disease? Do you agree or disagree? Please feel free to chat, ask me questions, and please tell me answers, because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it as hard as I can. Substance abuse disorder relapse. I'm developing a whistle. Relapse prevention plans are hard to come by when you're scatterbrained and live in the pleasure center of your brain like me and other addicts and alcoholics. To come up with a plan against the diabolical and disastrous and disease and disorder, you know what I mean? It's too much. Substance use. It's plagued everyone since the dawn of man and the dawn of substances. Stephen Foss stated in the Big Book Bill wants to continue to talk about alcoholism as an illness. It is an illness. I agree. Some people do not. It all depends, really. Thank you, Stephen Foss, for taking us back to the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Everything we need to know is in there. What up, Daniel Kopic? How's it going? At work, I take it? Hey, it's Nathan here. QUA99, Qua99. Hope you're well. I'm still sober from alcohol, but still on prescription drugs. Well, I hope the thumbnail means something to you. I've had my bout with prescription drugs as well. Percocets, Xanax, Klonopin, Norcan, whatever the hell it's called. Big Pharma wants us to be addicted, which brings us to our first logical reason for relapse. Big Pharma is another word for the people that make these drugs, medicines, prescription opiates, benzos. They make them irresistible, number one, and highly addictive. So I guess that being said, don't feel too bad if you're an addict or an alcoholic. Relapse in alcoholism is fairly simple if you look at it objectively. Alcohol is everywhere. Bars, liquor stores, the television, your mama's house, your grandma's house, your Uncle Lou and your cousin too. Especially if you're in Kopic's neck of the woods. The UK, mate. Y'all drink it for breakfast over there, I hear. And we're starting to over here, if not have been for a long time. We're a bunch of immigrants anyway. I'm a Polish descendant. My family is also Irish. Not blaming alcoholism on the Polish or the Irish, but the Polish invented vodka. So let's just lay the cards where they lay. That's no problem, Kopic. We missed you. Every second that you're not here, we're silent. I just turn on the stream and the camera, and we remain silent until you get here. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. We have been waiting for you. Of course, you know I'm kidding, bud. I'm glad to see all of you when you can make it. Nathan says Valium, and I'm on morphine, antidepressants, and shit you not. Street heroin was easier to come off of. I hear you. I'm also on antidepressants, a low dose of Prozac, which I have doubted before, but since it is not an intoxicant, it doesn't present me any immediate danger. There are theories about antidepressants. I'm sure Kopic will chime in. My dead homies. Moment of silence for the still suffering addicts and alcoholics out there. And then I'm going to read the brief Alcoholics Anonymous daily reflection for today, May 16th. Today's daily reflection says, we forgive. Often it was while working on this step with our sponsors or spiritual advisors that we felt very truly able to forgive ourselves. No matter how deeply we felt that they had wronged us, our moral inventory had persuaded us that all-around forgiveness was desirable. But it was only when we resolutely tackled step 5 that we inwardly knew we were able to receive forgiveness and give it too. That's from the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 58. What a great feeling forgiveness is. What a revelation about my emotional, psychological, and spiritual nature. All it takes is a willingness to forgive. God will do the rest. That's the Alcoholics Anonymous daily reflection. There's one for every day of the year. Check it out. Just look up Daily Reflection. I also post them on my community tab. Don't be shy, subscribe, and hit the bell. How you doing, Sean? Sean's here, fam. How you feeling? Side effects in particular on the antidepressants. Yeah, he told me about the tics. This could also be just a circumstantial occurrence. Let's talk about relapse. On our drug of choice, we all suffer from substance abuse disorder, substance use disorder, alcohol use disorder, alcohol abuse disorder, alcoholism. Here's the bottom line. We operate from the reward center, or as they say in Texas, reward center of the brain, meaning we seek easy pleasures and ignore the harder to attain pleasures in life like success, accomplishments. Sean says gratitude must be my attitude. James, thank you for the stream. Gratitude is extremely important. Maybe I'll do, if I remember, I will do a stream on gratitude very shortly. Yeah, Q, the regimen, the ritual of drug use is often part of the allure. I know my hands start sweating and I get excited on my way to the liquor store. Some die from cancer from smoking, but not all of it works for you. Should probably keep at it. Check it out, man. I've tried to wean off of the Prozac. As a matter of fact, my relapse in May could be attributed to me trying to quit everything at the same time, including antidepressants, ADHD meds, caffeine, nicotine, and a slew of others. It is not recommended that you try to quit all things at once. It is said by wiser men than I that quit what's killing you first. So don't try to quit smoking cigarettes if you're trying to quit booze, is the bottom line. Yeah, I don't plan on quitting them. I would like to, for various reasons, but to be honest, my snake in the grass, my addiction, my disease wants me to quit them so I can resume psychedelics. To be honest, my addiction wants to get high. My addiction wants to go the easier, softer way. So my addiction will talk me out of antidepressants in my own voice. And man, is it a sly talker. Bloody hell. Yeah, I know. It was crazy. But those are my bright ideas. If I would have listened to God's will, I wouldn't have done it. If I would have listened to Alcoholics Anonymous, who is where I essentially hear the voice of God, I wouldn't have come off of my antidepressants. We all have a feeling, a slight voice, if you will, that edges us towards the right thing to do. Sometimes the line is razor thin between the right thing to do and the wrong thing, but one thing I've experienced is that the right answer always reigns at least a tiny, tiny bit, and you can feel it if you search for it. That's where prayer and meditation comes in. When faced with relapse, when faced with the decision of resuming your addiction, your drug of choice, or your addictive behavior, a prayer to God is warranted. God, let thy will be done, not mine. And then you meditate. Fall silent. Praying is talking to God. Meditating is listening, or so I've heard and experienced. The right thing will come. Do the next right thing in life. I guarantee you the next right thing is never going to be use drugs or drink. Not for the addict or alcoholic, and I doubt for anybody really to get intoxicated. Mike Tucker's on the scene. It's so common because we're back in reality, and the whole reason we drank was to escape reality. Sometimes reality sucks. Wise words, Mike Tucker. It was our perceived medication. We were self-medicating. And, well, relapse. I do have videos on this channel about relapse prevention in 1 or 2. I have illustrated how relapse happens before you pick up your drug of choice. Before I drank, many things were in motion. It goes mentally, emotionally, physically. So this can happen months before you pick up your first drink, your first drug, and physically relapse. You will mentally be relapsing, emotionally be relapsing, and physically. Sometimes it happens at the drop of a dime, at the flash of a lightning, in half a second. You can go through all 3. That's how cunning and baffling and powerful it is, in my experience. Hey, Miss Ford, how are you? I told Daniel that when he's not here, we all just wait patiently, silently, and stare at each other until he comes. Same thing with you, Miss Ford. We were doing it just a second ago. I'm glad you decided to grace us with your presence. It's painful to see how our lives could have been, Mike Tucker says, financially and in other ways. It is painful. It was painful until I worked the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. One of the 9th step promises of AA is, we will no longer regret the past nor wish to shut the door on it. I never knew what it meant and barely believed that it could happen. But now, instead of regretting the almost 3 decades that I spent using drugs and drinking, I don't regret it somehow. I can even find gratitude in the fact that I would have never found AA and therefore never found the level of spirituality I am at right now. I would have never found humility, serenity, peace, and this channel wouldn't be up. So there's that. But I know what you're talking about, Mike Tucker. If only I could have found God and the 3rd step and the 11th step sooner, I would have been happy for the rest of my life. But that is futile to think like that. The past is gone and the future is an illusion. Glad you're sleeping well, Daniel. Yeah, man. I'm finding rewards in keeping a clear head and not behaving addictively. Multi-screens? I'm not sure what you mean, Nathan. Your relapse probably messed up your retirement plans. I've had countless relapses, Mike. Relapse is not essential to recovery, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, but it can be part of your recovery. It's as simple as learning from your mistakes, studying relapse. How did I feel in the months leading up to? What was I not doing? The answer is always not going to AA meetings. When I hear people relapse in the rooms, it's always, and they don't even know they're saying it, but in their story, I'll just sit there and wait for it, and it will come out of their mouth. I had stopped going to meetings. Yes, speaking of mortgages, I do have a membership on this channel. Please explore the link. I had pinned it at the top of the chat. Click it. For as little as $2.99 a month, you can help me carry the message and my internet and help me have a place to live and do what I love, which is help you find folks and myself stay sober. I don't know if you knew this, but I just can't get enough of talking about recovery. Oh, Miss Holly's not smoking right now. Good for you. It yellows your teeth. And also a bunch of other stuff as well. I have found that THC cannabis releases way too much dopamine and doesn't give you enough to be motivated for life. Dopamine is the motivational hormone chemical. I had been free of all substances for 4.5 years. Then I began to smoke cannabis, and what I have noticed is that any addictive behavior takes me away from AA, number one, or God, number one. So the more rocks that I drop, aka the more addictive behaviors that I expel from my life, and we're talking everything from booze to swiping incessantly through Instagram reels looking for a hit of serotonin. Yeah, thinking about the future is a source of anxiety. Thinking about the past is a source of depression. When you have one foot in the future and one foot in the past, you tend to be shitting on the present, which is a gift, by the way, the present. Stephen Foss, relapse is not part of the program or recovery, it's part of the disease. Right, relapse is part of the problem. I didn't say it has to be part of recovery. However, you can use it. I know it seems dangerous to say that, but it is the truth. Don't plan on relapsing. However, relapse dependingly and circumstantially, well, relapse sometimes happens. There are one white chippers. Mike Tucker is one in our presence. It doesn't have to be, and it's the best. Here's the deal. You can learn from your experience of relapse, or you can learn from the experience of others. AKA, you can listen to your own mind and relapse, or you can listen to the experience of others in the rooms of AA and the Big Book and not relapse. Dark places. Yeah, relapse, like I said, it's our perceived medicine. We take the easier, softer way. Spicy Peaches chimes in, if you're not growing, then you're going. Bravo. I like that one. Tobacco, alcohol, and cocaine addiction. The power of mushrooms seems to have helped people in this realm. There is a spiritual asset to psychedelics that no one seems to be able to put their finger on. I have had experience with the positive effects of psychedelics on addiction. However, my addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful, and it will have me eating 11 grams when I really should be microdosing. So I've had to put the psychedelics down as well. I would like to, by the end of my life, say I was at least part of the time more cunning, more baffling, and more powerful than my addiction. And when I am, my life seems to go pretty well. Although it's not me, it's the power of God and simply doing the next right thing, aka God's will, not mine, be done. Ms. Ford says, I've met one person in my entire life. It was a one white chipper. Yeah, the reason it's rare and the reason relapse is so common is because addiction, the disease of alcoholism, the disease of substance abuse disorder, is cunning, baffling, and powerful. So cunning, baffling, and powerful, those are the only words that seem to be able to describe it accurately. I'm sure those aren't the only ones, but in summary, yes, 11 grams of shrooms. You can see that video if you look up Soberdelic James, 11 grams of psychedelic mushrooms. It happens to be one of my more popular videos and live streams. And I don't know if I want to keep it on the channel anymore. However, it is suggested that not only do I keep it up, but I post the entire 5 months of live streams where I was relapsing on booze, cigarettes, other things, for it's an honest journey. However, it can be misinterpreted. And in fact, I don't like myself when intoxicated. Yes, it definitely works on the problematic existence of the ego. However, in AA, I finally, with a sober, clear state of mind, discovered the dangers of my ego and its inflated size. The ego doesn't need to be smashed. It does, however, need to be smashed down to right size. Ego is God-given. It is a lot of things I am not educated on, but I will tell you it seems like it's a defense mechanism against this twisted world we live in, where our ego used to make us just enough to defend ourselves against a saber-toothed tiger. Our ego now thinks it needs to be big enough to be the president of the United States, the CEO of Instagram, and also, a model. I don't know. Our egos are twisted and contorted, distorted by the media's need to get our money. My ego is glad that there's 15 viewers on here, and my ego demands that you hit the like button. But as a humble being, I am okay if you do not. I am just glad that there's 15 people that are interested in improving their lives with recovery. Relapse prevention is important. My relapse prevention plan is simple. Keep going to AA meetings. Always remember, keep coming back. Meeting makers make it. This is my relapse prevention plan. I didn't need to write a relapse prevention plan because Alcoholics Anonymous has already wrote one for me. If you're not a boozer and you're more into drugs, although alcohol is the most dangerous drug, Narcotics Anonymous is the same 12 principles, the same 12 steps. Thank you, Nathan. What do you look forward to, James? You know, I was just asking myself this question. Today wasn't an ideal day, although I know now that when a day doesn't go my way, it's not necessarily bad, it's not necessarily good. But I wasn't exactly stoked on life today. I look forward to succeeding as a addiction recovery. I'm not an expert and I'm not a guru. I would like to be making a living by helping people on their journey of addiction recovery. That's what gets me excited. Also, after the stream at night, I like to lay on my couch and watch Vines. It's the most relaxing part of my day. I usually work all day on this channel, on my sexy body, and on my spirituality by going to meetings. So laying horizontally, you noticed, Mike, that actually is encouraging. I have been wondering if swearing a lot affects my spirituality and my mood and my usefulness to my fellows. I also have recently changed my life, or had my life changed, by listening to the suggestions of others. And what have people been saying since we knew English? Don't swear so much. So I'm considering listening to others and not my own silly opinions about carrying an edge with me to the day I die. From the heart's abundance, the mouth speaks. From the heart's abundance, the mouth speaks. Rock on, dude. I like how you said I don't like myself when I'm drinking. I'm gonna start using that. Yeah, well, yeah, good. I'm glad, Spicy. I mean, who among us does? Of course, there is the sweet spot where we can dance better and flirt better and sing better, and but then, of course, there's the rotten spot where we only think we can dance better and think we can sing better and flirt better. But I've seen videos of myself, I've heard audio of myself, stories of myself, and I am humiliated by the fact that I've acted so ugly. Nathan says, I would rather had you as a support worker, as I get the feeling you would kick my arse if I slipped up. I hate myself drunk. Here's the deal. There are recovery coaches and stuff like that, but I can't get you sober. There is no human power that can get you sober. God can. And I have found God through the program of Alcoholics Anonymous. It is my religion. By the definition of religion, it's a practice. It's where I find God, straight up, straight down, all around, Clown Town. I wish there was a difference for me, Daniel says. I could at least like one version of myself more than the other. Sadly, I don't like any version of myself, nor do I change when using substances. Daniel, the road to self-esteem is paved with doing esteemable things. Hence, dropping the rock or rocks. Every rock that I don't like about myself that I cling to because I think it gives me an edge, or, substances have always been a rock that I cling to, one or another. The more I drop, the more esteem I gain. And the high of walking with confidence, with zero fear and zero guilt, beats all other highs on earth, hands down, blows them out of the water. So if you don't like yourself, start with baby steps by doing esteemable things. Get out of yourself. Number one, we do this, and this is the greatest gift I've ever been given, is the knowledge that helping others gets me out of myself. When you feel bad, help another person. Psychedelics suck when you don't like yourself too, man. One of the reasons they are beneficial is because they show you every ugly part of yourself and also present solutions. When I am caught in my addiction, I don't eat. When I was on mushrooms one time, it seemed like they took me to my refrigerator and told me, eat. Right on, Nathan. The road to esteemable self-esteem is doing esteemable things. Is me jerking off in the middle of the daytime just because I don't feel very good esteemable? I don't think so. You know what I mean? So I don't do it anymore. Is me yelling at my dog esteemable? No. Spending countless hours flipping through Instagram reels of sexy babes, is that esteemable? No. I now respect myself, and it's not because I just woke up and decided to, it's because I followed the program of Alcoholics Anonymous and these things began to materialize. Confidence, self-respect, self-esteem. Stephen reminds us, an alcoholic in his cups is an unlovely creature, as was I. Going to the gym is esteemable. I've been doing more and more of this. Laying on the couch instead of going to the gym, been doing less of that. You know what feels great now that I've been going to the gym? Laying on the couch. There's nothing better than laying on the couch with a guilt-free conscience. Fear is not there. Regret is not there. Procrastination is not there. All of a sudden, your esteem is palpable. You're definitely right, Nathan. Diet and exercise. One thing that we've known since we understood the English language, or whatever language you happen to speak, is diet and exercise. Why don't we listen? Well, Big Pharma doesn't want us to listen, so it has its claws in the media. It wants us to stay unhealthy, so we need Big Pharma, is one theory I have. The more esteemable you are, the less likely you are to relapse. The more self-esteem you have, the more fulfilling and selfless life that you live, the further you are from relapse. What is drug use and what is drinking? It's one of the most selfish acts a human being can perform. I've never in all of my life gotten drunk for another human being. Michael, how's things? Lying down. Relapse isn't just something that happens because we want to do drugs. Relapse happens on a deep level. We don't like ourselves. We don't feel well, so we self-medicate. Our addiction is so crafty that it tells us that we can do it this time. This time will be different. Even if it's not different, I'll get over it. Stuff like that. Here's the deal. I may have another relapse in me, but I may not have another recovery in me. And you know what that means? It means this is the end. Each of us may have another relapse in us, but we may not have another recovery. Meaning it would be the end. And end by death would be the fortunate scenario, in my opinion. End by life in prison, not so fortunate. End by losing both of your legs and both of your arms because you're driving drunk, not so fortunate. And end by, I don't know, killing your family because you started a fire one Thanksgiving and you had the bright ideas to, install all of the exterior doors yourself, but you're no carpenter, so you installed them backwards because you were drunk half the time. So your entire family burns down to the ground, except for you. You live, you go to prison with the death of your entire family on your shoulders. Like I said, relapse, sure. Recovery, you know what I mean? Not so likely. What up, Smitty? What's good is I'm sober today. What's good is those of you who are sober today. And if you're not, you're at least here. And the seed of recovery is growing in you. It does take what it takes, which is unfortunate and sad. Sometimes it takes our physical life, but it always takes our metaphorical life. these things that make up life, like our time, our energy, our health, our relationships. It always takes life before it takes your life. The Smitty's about to have some after-work beers, but I've been tapering and dieting and feeling good right now. Well, good. Like I say, at least you have the seed of recovery. Although, to attain sobriety, you do have to stop drinking. But you know that, Smitty. Knowing it doesn't do it. Willpower doesn't do it. By sheer will, you don't just wake up one day and say, you know, drinking's bad for me, and then stop. This is essentially why the program of Alcoholics Anonymous exists. We are powerless over alcohol. No human power can have relieved us of our addiction. Which is why the introduction of a God of our understanding is essential. It is the final thing that has happened to me, and I'm grateful for it. For it is mysterious of why I didn't get it earlier, and why did I get it at all? I went through life fairly intelligent, fairly aware, or at least I thought of what I needed to do. How did I not get it? That every single word of Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book needs to be taken literally. And read all of the words, the black print. Don't read in between the lines. Don't read the words that don't exist, aka your own ideas. I finally did get this, and I am grateful and perplexed and baffled on how I didn't get it before. But I am so grateful that my gratitude overwrites my regret. My regret is no longer existent. That's where making amends comes in. What you mean, Miss Ford? I'm a little distracted because my dog's barking outside. But what do you mean, am I okay? What are you thinking? I told you I had a not so depressing day. I do try not to bring it on here as it's toxic, and my main aim is to help others and not depress them, but I'm sorry if... What do you mean, am I okay? One day at a time, Nathan reminds us. I stopped. I was scared of losing my family and life. I got a training partner, but he died from blood clot, man. Yeah, I'm more than okay, Ms. Ford. I realize that not every day can be a good one. Looked a little stressed. Yeah, when my dogs bark, I guess my anxiety goes up a little bit when they're barking outside. Please excuse me, sponsored by McDonald's, as I go let them in. Listen to this lovely hip-hop beat while I'm gone. I don't know if it's hip-hop, but, you know, it's lovely. I also have a headache brewing. And I'm not too stoked on the fact that I chipped my tooth this week. For now, I may or may not have a whistle. Robin Hood country. You mean, wish my memory stayed with me for the journey. Robin Hood was from Mary something? Somebody will say it. Smitty says I chipped my front tooth on a fork while eating. Kind of think it looks cool though. Yeah. I guess I should be grateful that I chipped the back of my bottom tooth. You can kind of see where it's pointy. Nottingham, brother. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Nottingham. I understand now. I'm in the U.S., Nathan. Originally from Schenectady, New York, which is Mohawk Indian for Beyond the Pines, which is also the name of a movie with Ryan Gosling, Eva Mendes, Ray Liotta, Bradley Cooper about crooked cops in Schenectady, New York. Basically damn near Canada, but still the U.S. Now I reside in the Southeast. I will remind you that there is a super chat. Goes a little something like this. If you would like to have a James Brown announcement of your own, it goes a little something like... And also, you can join as a member. Nathan, Local Smitty, Tom Sock, the 15 of you that don't prefer to chat, you can do your part by clicking join and picking a tier to help me carry the message. And stay off of beer. Ha What's it called, please, again? Whoa, what are you talking about? Nathan? Nottingham, huh? Right on. I liked most of the Robin Hood motion pictures. Prince of Thieves. Also Men in Tights. The film. Oh, Beyond the Pines. Or A Town Beyond the Pines. Beyond the Pines. What's up, Jamil? Utica, New York. Yeah, man. Utica is about 3 hours, maybe 4 hours west of me. I've been there. Schenectady, Albany, that's my area. It is beautiful. The Adirondacks is the biggest state park in the United States. Mountain range it is, and it is so vast it can encompass all other state parks within it. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, upstate New York is beautiful. Downstate isn't too bad. The city, Manhattan, and all that, you know, it's got its perks, but it tends to be pretty, well, city-like. Construction everywhere, trash everywhere, people everywhere. You know what I mean? Jamil, it's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Utica is, I think, where they brew Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm pretty sure, or one of Genesee. Any Arrested Development fans out there? Relapse is a beast. It'll sneak up on you and be in your head for months before you pick up your drug of dread. With God, with Alcoholics Anonymous, relapse doesn't stand a chance. Spiritual fitness is essentially the goal, and the 12 steps are the blueprint. New restaurant in the morning. Are you working there, or are you opening a new restaurant? What's it called? Tramiel's Place? Tramiel's Place, man. Relapse is so common because substance use disorder, alcoholism, drug addiction is a beast. Relapse is so common because our disease talks to us in our own voice, and it lies incessantly. But it sounds like it's telling the truth. You know, just this once. It'll be different this time. You can have only a couple. Sure, I can have only a couple, but I'll be miserable. My addiction forgot to mention that. Alcoholics and drug addicts, we cannot control and enjoy our drinking and using. At the same time, we can only control it or enjoy it, never both at the same time. Think about it and let me know if I'm wrong. If you try some controlled drinking, maybe you're the designated driver, which I tried once in my 43 years on this planet, and it was horrible. But I didn't have any drinks. Everyone else was having drinks. I've tried going to the bar and having 2 drinks. And even then it turned into 3, and I still didn't like it. Ended up drinking like 37 the next day just to catch up. Cheese machine, speaking for myself, controlled drinking never worked for me. Me neither. Like I said, I can control it. I'm not. The powerlessness comes in because maybe the next day or the week after, I would totally get obliterated somehow and be baffled. Yeah, I could do 3 or 4. 40 ounces of malt liquor. I could do 3 or 4 beers. If beers were bottles of vodka. Yeah, I'm good with 3 or 4 too. If 3 or 4 represents bars of Xanax. No, I seriously, I can do 3 or 4. Weeks of drinking, cases on end. No, I've done 3 or 4 before. Bottles of wine, the big ones. I've done 3 or 4 drinks before. Not 3 or 4 because that is entering the realm of no control. But I've done 1 or 2 before and been miserable. I have a phenomenon of craving that is just wreaking havoc on my mental state. And I may have made it through that evening, and it may have only been once in my life. But This is what happens, and I tell the truth. Either the next day or the day after that, or the Friday or Saturday after the night that I tried my controlled drinking, I got obliterated off of alcohol. My addiction, my logic was something like, it was ridiculous. It was something like, well, you might as well just get drunk now, you had 2, or you got some catching up to do, you only had 2, or you're not in a bar now, you're at your house, so it's okay, you can have 37. It's funny and also baffling. And it's not really funny, but I can laugh at it now. If I was still doing it, I wouldn't be laughing. It's sad, it's diabolical, it's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Oh yeah, I hear that, Nathan. I used to call them time capsules, the bars of Xanax, because when I would do one, I would wake up 4 days later, because 1 would turn into 2, 2 would turn into 4. Why wouldn't you get fucked up? Of course you would. That's what we do. Exactly. Aoi Katz. AIW. Katz. Aoi Katz. That's what we do. 37 ain't shit, Copic. We're talking in the 60s. 60 beers. And the only reason I was drinking beer was because I would be drinking liquor at the same rate that I would drink beer. It's called a phenomenon of craving because it's baffling. It's a phenomenon. That word explains stuff that can't be explained. It's a phenomenon of craving. Tramiel, if you're anything like me or any other alcoholic, your body would react like this. You would experience a phenomenon of craving if you put alcohol into your body. And if you controlled it, you would be miserable. If you don't control it, you might enjoy yourself for a minute, but the consequences will be miserable. Kelly Murray, it sure is cunning, baffling, and powerful. I hate addiction, but at the same time, I'm grateful for AA and my sobriety. Me too, Kelly. Grateful for yours and grateful for mine. I am a grateful, recovering addict and alcoholic. The gratitude I feel is immeasurable. It overrides all regret. I feel so lucky and so blessed that I'm finally here in serenity and peace, without alcohol, without drugs. A bad day like today isn't even bad. I wonder what it is bringing. My will is handed over to God, and I look forward to whatever God is bringing my way, because if I were to call alcoholism bad, I wouldn't have what I have today. You know what I mean? So like, sure, alcohol can be labeled as bad, alcoholism. Choosing the booze and dope over your loved ones, that's the shit part. Yeah, that's the shitty part for real. Alcoholism is a disease that affects all those that are involved in the alcoholic's life. I had a big relapse, but on my way to 60 days sober. Good for you, Kelly Murray. I'm in sober living and grateful for these girls and all their support. Oh, I'm so happy for you. Good for you, Kelly. When I say keep it up, I mean keep giving your will over to the care of God as you understand it, him, her, whatever you call it. Keep that up. To say keep it up to an addict and mean keep it up, you're doing great, you're doing it, you're the, you know what I mean? I can never forget it's not me that's doing this. I have tried it for the past decades on end. I have tried everything. And it says in the book all the things I've tried, because alcoholics of all sorts have tried it. Things like only drinking on the weekends, never drinking on the weekdays, never drinking alone, only drinking alone, never drinking liquor, only drinking beer, never drinking beer, only drinking wine, only drinking at special occasions, never drinking at special occasions. The list goes on to infinitum. I've tried it all. It is a great job, Kelly. A great job that you are giving your life and care over to your God of your understanding. It's a great job. Hey, it's complicated, so to tell you that you're not doing it is not really the truth. There is one thing that we can do, and it's go to AA. There is one thing we can do, and it's hand our efforts and our decisions and opinions, our arguments and judgments, our opinions that have such high opinions of their opinions, we hand all those over. I have no more arguments. All of my arguments in the past, I have either looked back on and said, what the hell were you talking about? Arguments, opinions, decisions, these are what makes up our will, and our will is dangerous as addicts and alcoholics and human beings. We've been affected, in my opinion, by the media and the way the world is. They want us to be ever wanting, ever seeking for pleasure, gratification in material things, and booze and drugs. We were looking for the fix in pharmaceuticals. They want that. I'm not mad at them because it is just the way it is. I accept it. A sponsor once told me, acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. And then he repeated it. All of our problems. Acceptance is the answer to all of our problems. What that means basically is, with acceptance, with a healthy practice of acceptance, you don't have any problems. You just accept things the way they are and work with them. My problem of drinking too much turned out to be my problem of thinking too much. Drinking was just the symptom. But Kelly, you're doing great. Yeah, I'm really glad you're happy and comfortable in your sober living. It takes what it takes, and we do whatever it takes to surrender. Surrender is the most powerful thing I've ever done. The knowledge that I'm powerless over alcohol is the most powerful knowledge that I have, other than giving my will and my life over to the care of God and accepting things the way they are. We take life on life's terms. If we don't, we will drink. If we try to control everything because we don't think it's right and we don't like the way it is according to our plan, we will drink, because life is what happens when we're making plans. Life will happen whether we're making plans or not. And when our plan doesn't come to fruition, we'll drink. Yeah, I've quit, Daniel, like I was saying earlier. I've quit for 10 months, 12 months, 18 months at different times. And essentially, I quit for 8 years before May of 2023. But without God, I was doing it myself, aka white knuckling it. I was spending so much energy, restlessness, irritability, discontentment, that my knuckles were white because I was gripping so hard, I was stressed. It's called white knuckling for a reason, because when you try to do it, sure, you can do it for a period of time, but you will be miserable. When you give it to God, when you give it to AA, You find serenity and you find peace. This is surrender. And surrender is one of the most powerful things you can do. When you're drinking insane binge amounts, 37s, didn't quit the day after. I used to when I was younger. When I was 30, I had a grand mal seizure. From that point on, I went to detox whenever I was trying to quit. I learned little things as I relapsed over the decades. This is why I say relapse can be, but doesn't have to be, part of recovery. The way it can be is I learned little by little, because we're all different. Our learning styles are different. I could make a joke here and say that I'm Polish. But I learned through pain, several concussions, comas, lost family, friends, jobs. I was homeless, you know what I mean? Jails, institutions, and death repeatedly. By death, I mean close, damn near death. I technically died twice on an operating table. My heart stopped twice, is what the doctor told my dad. So jails, institutions, hospitals, damn near death. It doesn't have to take that. In my opinion, that might be controversial and scary. It takes what it takes according to the individual. It takes what it takes according to the individual's willingness to give it to God. My willingness obviously wasn't too willing for this gift of desperation this last time. Took the form of, I'm not drinking, but I'm still most definitely miserable. I remembered there was a chapter in the big book called There Is a Solution. I went and I dusted my book off and I read There Is a Solution. And for 24 hours, I didn't let go of that book. It meant so much to me that there's a chapter called There Is a Solution in such concise, clear instructions that I didn't let go of the book. I carried it with me to meetings like it was a shield. My body, my soul, my bones, my spirit, every part of me knew that that book was the solution, and I didn't let go of it. And it's right here. This is the big book. This is the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It is the solution. If you don't like the personalities in AA meetings, welcome to the club. If you like everyone in AA, you're not going to enough meetings. The personalities are not the program. The principles in this book and in the 12 steps are the program. Your addiction will make 1,000 times infinite excuses for you to stay out of AA. That's because your addiction is scared of AA. With AA, your addiction won't exist. With AA, your ego won't exist. Your ego will fight to the death before you go to AA, and you better be grateful that it's going to die too. Your ego is not your amigo. Your ego is not your amigo. And AA, it took AA for me to know that. It took God. White knuckling was selfish, Matty Rush, and it's not all about me. Right on. It seems insanity to me that most would have alcohol poisoning for hours after drinking a full bottle of spirits. Some would die, so it's just crazy to hear. Definitely, mainly genetics. There's also tolerance involved in alcohol. When you go months with drinking alcohol, it takes more and more to get you drunk. It is also genetics. Genetics is everything. That's why I say everyone's unique, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Everyone is unique, complex, which is why I am so grateful that I somehow understand now. The things I'm saying you may not get, you may not even, you're listening but not getting. This was me for 43 years. So I'm grateful. Awicots, I'm out as well. It's been a great stream. I stream every night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Click the notification bell and make sure your YouTube app is sending your notifications to your phone. Also consider joining. I need money. I need money to do this. I need money to live. I'm not trying to get rich off of this, although I would like it. And I would be eternally grateful, and I'd be showing up at your house in an RV with Soberdelic on the side, and I'd say, come on, we're going on a road trip. Hey, but I stream every night, addiction recovery live streams and everything in between. And it's always good to see you. For all of you on the road, trudging the road to happy destiny through sobriety and recovery, I am grateful for you. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't think, just don't drink. Don't think, don't drink. Go to meetings, read the big book, get a sponsor, and keep doing what you're doing. Good night, Tramiel. Good night, Kelly. Kopic. Nathan. Keep it up. Brothers and sisters, I'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, keep it clean, keep it real, keep doing the damn thing. Peace.